Turkey is one of the most visited countries on Earth, and it is easy to see why. Before you book anything, here is everything you actually need to know before you go. We are covering visa requirements, getting around, the best regions, safety, real costs, the best time to visit, and the mistakes first-timers keep making. From the minarets of Istanbul to the fairy chimneys of Cappadocia and the turquoise coves of the turquoise coast, Turkey bridges two continents and an enormous range of experiences. Save this video before you start booking flights because we are answering the questions people actually search before landing in Turkey. Let us start with entry requirements. Turkey is not part of the Schengen area, so its visa rules run entirely separate from the rest of Europe, and most visitors need to arrange entry before they fly. Many nationalities, including Americans, Canadians, and Australians, can apply for an e-visa entirely online, a process that typically takes just minutes and is approved almost instantly for a small fee. Always apply through the official government e-visa website, evisa.gov.tr. Since third-party sites often charge steep markups for the exact same document. The standard tourist e-visa allows stays of up to 90 days within a 180-day period for most eligible nationalities, plenty for even an extended trip. Citizens of many European countries can actually enter Turkey with just a valid ID card rather than a full passport, though passport holders should always check current requirements for their specific nationality. Make sure your passport has at least 6 months of validity remaining beyond your planned departure date, a common requirement that catches travelers off guard at check-in. Travel insurance is not mandatory for short tourist stays, but it is strongly recommended given the cost of private medical care, which is where most visitors end up if something goes wrong. If you are staying longer, studying, or working, you will need a long-stay residence permit arranged through Turkish immigration authorities, a more involved process than the standard e-visa. Border officers can ask for proof of onward travel and enough funds to cover your stay, so keep a return ticket and a hotel confirmation handy even if no one ends up asking for them. And register your trip with your home country's travel advisory service if one is available. It costs nothing and makes it far easier for anyone to reach you in the rare case of an emergency abroad. If your nationality is not eligible for the e-visa, you will need to apply for a sticker visa at a Turkish consulate in advance, so check eligibility months before your planned departure date. Pets, medications, and certain electronics can require extra documentation at customs, so check current import rules for anything unusual you plan to bring into the country. Most international visitors fly into Istanbul Airport, one of the busiest hubs in the world, though Antalya and other regional airports serve the coastal resort areas directly from Europe. Turkish Airlines connects Istanbul to nearly every corner of the country with frequent, affordable domestic flights, often the fastest way to cover Turkey's large distances. Long-distance buses are comfortable, modern, and remarkably cheap, connecting even smaller towns with frequent departures and onboard service that rivals budget airlines. Istanbul's public transit, including trams, metro, and ferries across the Bosphorus, is efficient and easy to navigate using a rechargeable Istanbul Kart transit card. Renting a car makes sense for exploring Cappadocia's valleys or the turquoise coast at your own pace, though driving in Istanbul itself is rarely worth the traffic and stress. Domestic flights within Turkey are genuinely cheap compared to Western Europe, often making a flight from Istanbul to Cappadocia or the coast faster and cheaper than an overnight bus. Ferries connect Istanbul across the Bosphorus and out to the Prince's Islands, a scenic and practical way to escape the city for an afternoon without a long drive. Dolmuş shared minivans fill in the gaps between towns where buses do not run directly, a distinctly Turkish way of getting around at a fraction of taxi prices. And note that Cappadocia's hot air balloon flights depend heavily on weather, so build a buffer day into your itinerary if that experience is a priority for your trip. If you are nervous about navigating a country that spans 2 continents, remember that Istanbul's airport and transit signage are excellent, and English is widely understood in tourist areas. Taxis in major cities should always run on the meter, Insist on it before you get in, since unmetered fares are one of the most common ways tourists overpay for short rides. Ride-hailing apps like BuyTaxi and Uber operate in Istanbul and other major cities, often a more predictable and comfortable option than flagging a cab off the street. Intercity train service is more limited than buses, but the high-speed line between Istanbul and Ankara is fast, comfortable, and a genuinely pleasant way to see the countryside. Istanbul is the obvious starting point for many visitors, the only city on Earth spanning 2 continents, home to the Hagia Sophia, the Blue Mosque, and centuries of Byzantine and Ottoman history. Cappadocia delivers otherworldly rock formations, cave hotels, and sunrise hot air balloon flights that have become one of the most photographed travel experiences on Earth. The turquoise coast, centered on Antalya, Fethiye, and Bodrum, offers Mediterranean beaches, ancient ruins, and boat trips along some of the clearest water in the region. Pamukkale's white travertine terraces, formed by mineral-rich hot springs cascading down a hillside, sit alongside the ancient ruins of Hierapolis for a genuinely unique day trip. Ephesus, one of the best-preserved ancient cities in the Mediterranean, gives visitors a walk through Roman streets and the stunning facade of the Library of Celsus. Bodrum blends whitewashed hillside towns with a lively marina and nightlife scene, a popular summer escape for both Turkish and international visitors alike. The Black Sea region in the northeast offers dramatic green mountains and a completely different culture and cuisine from the Mediterranean south, an overlooked corner most first-time visitors skip. If this is your first trip and you only have 1 to 2 weeks, pairing Istanbul with Cappadocia gives you the best contrast between world-class city and otherworldly landscape. Mount Nemrut in the southeast, home to giant stone heads atop an ancient royal tomb, rewards travelers willing to venture off the standard tourist circuit for something genuinely unique. Trabzon along the Black Sea coast offers access to the stunning Sumela Monastery, carved into a cliff face, a dramatic sight far from the crowds of Istanbul or Cappadocia. The turquoise coast town of Kos offers a quieter, more laid-back alternative to Bodrum's crowds, with excellent diving and a genuinely charming old town center. And Konya, home to the whirling dervishes and the Mevlana Museum, offers a spiritual and cultural detour for travelers curious about Turkey beyond its beaches and ruins. Now let us talk safety. Turkey's major tourist areas, including Istanbul, Cappadocia, and the coastal resorts, are generally very safe, with violent crime against tourists remaining rare. Petty theft and pickpocketing happen in crowded areas like the Grand Bazaar and Istiklal Street. So stay aware and keep valuables in a front pocket or zipped bag. Common scams include overpriced carpet shop invitations, rigged taxi meters, and bar tabs that balloon unexpectedly. Most avoidable simply by researching prices ahead of time. Check your government's current travel advisories before visiting border regions in the southeast, since some areas near Syria and Iraq carry heightened risk that does not affect the rest of the country. Solo travelers, including women, generally report feeling safe in Istanbul and the major tourist regions, though standard precautions apply at night as they would in any major city worldwide. Emergency services are reliable and easy to reach. The general emergency number is 112, functioning nationwide much like 911. Tap water is generally not recommended for drinking. Bottled or filtered water is the safer, standard choice throughout the country, including in nicer hotels. Healthcare quality in major cities is excellent, and private hospitals are used to treating international visitors, though travel insurance is genuinely worth having given private care costs. Keep digital and physical copies of your passport, insurance policy, and any prescriptions separate from the originals. A lost wallet or bag becomes far less stressful when you are not also starting from zero on documentation. Overall, millions of tourists visit Turkey safely every year, and most encounter nothing more serious than a persistent bazaar vendor or a crowded tram during rush hour. Earthquakes are a real geological risk in parts of Turkey. Familiarize yourself with basic safety guidance for your hotel or region. Though most tourist areas see no seismic activity during a typical visit. Register with your embassy's traveler program before you go, a free step that makes it far easier for officials to reach you if a regional emergency does arise during your trip. Let us get practical about cost. Turkey is one of the more affordable destinations covered on this channel, with the Turkish lira stretching considerably further than the euro or dollar. Expect a mid-range hotel in Istanbul or Cappadocia to run $50 to $120 a night, with genuinely nice cave hotels in Cappadocia often costing less than a standard hotel elsewhere in Europe. A sit-down dinner for two commonly runs $15 to $30, and street food like doner kebab or simit can feed you well for just a couple of dollars. Entry fees to major sites like Topkapi Palace or Ephesus add up. If you plan several stops, the Museum Pass Turkey covers dozens of sites and often pays for itself after just a few visits. A realistic budget for 2 weeks in Turkey for 2 people, including mid-range hotels, domestic flights, meals, and entry fees, lands somewhere around $2,000 to $3,500 total. Budget travelers can cut costs significantly by taking buses instead of flights, eating at local lokanta restaurants instead of tourist zones, and staying in smaller guest houses outside Istanbul's historic center. The Turkish lira has experienced significant inflation in recent years, which paradoxically makes Turkey even more affordable for travelers holding dollars, euros, or pounds. Tipping around 5 to 10% is customary at restaurants, and rounding up for taxis and casual services is appreciated but not strictly required the way it is in some countries. Bargaining is expected, and part of the culture at bazaars and markets. Starting at roughly half the initial asking price is a reasonable opening move for most souvenir purchases. Credit cards are widely accepted in cities and tourist areas, though smaller towns and market vendors still favor cash, so keep some lira on hand for exactly those situations. ATMs are plentiful in cities, but withdraw larger amounts less often to minimize fixed withdrawal fees, and always decline the dynamic currency conversion prompt in favor of being charged in lira. Domestic flights and long-distance buses are genuinely inexpensive by Western standards, often costing less than a single tank of gas would back home for a comparable distance covered. So when is the best time to go? Spring, from April through May, brings mild temperatures, blooming landscapes, and some of the clearest skies for Cappadocia's hot air balloon flights. Summer, June through August, is peak season along the coast, hot and crowded in Istanbul and the turquoise coast, though this is also when the Mediterranean water is warmest for swimming. September and October are widely considered the sweet spot, with comfortable temperatures, thinner crowds, and harvest season adding local color to markets across the country. Winter brings snow to Cappadocia's fairy chimneys, creating a genuinely magical, less crowded version of the region's famous landscape for travelers willing to bundle up. If hot air ballooning over Cappadocia is a priority, aim for spring or early fall, when clear morning weather gives flights the best odds of actually taking off. Ramadan's timing shifts each year on the lunar calendar, and while Turkey remains fully open to tourists during this period, some restaurants in smaller towns adjust their daytime hours. Istanbul Tulip Festival. Each April transforms the city's parks into a sea of color, a colorful and completely free reason to time a spring visit around the capital. Whatever season you choose, book Cappadocia balloon flights and popular Istanbul hotel rooms well in advance. Demand rarely eases up even outside the busiest summer months. Ski season in the mountains near Erzurum and Uludağ runs roughly December through March, an overlooked option for travelers building a trip around winter sports rather than ruins and beaches. Public holidays like Republic Day in late October bring flag-decorated streets and a genuine sense of national pride, a memorable time to be in the country even though some offices close. Late spring shoulder season also means lower hotel rates in Istanbul, since prices climb sharply once summer cruise ships and package tours arrive in June. Whatever time of year you land, pack layers. Turkey's climate shifts dramatically between the humid coast, arid Cappadocia, and mountainous east, sometimes within the same week. On to the must-sees, starting with the Hagia Sophia in Istanbul, a nearly 1,500-year-old structure that has served as a cathedral, a mosque, a museum, and now a mosque again. The Blue Mosque, officially the Sultan Ahmed Mosque, sits directly across from the Hagia Sophia, its 6 minarets and cascading domes forming one of the most photographed skylines in the world. Topkapi Palace, home to Ottoman sultans for centuries, houses treasures, harem quarters, and sweeping views over the Bosphorus from its gardens. Cappadocia's sunrise hot air balloon flights drift silently over a landscape of carved rock valleys and cave dwellings unlike anywhere else on the planet. And the Grand Bazaar, one of the oldest and largest covered markets on Earth, offers thousands of shops selling everything from spices to hand-woven carpets across its labyrinthine-covered streets. Pamukkale's white travertine pools, formed by calcium-rich hot springs, let visitors walk barefoot through warm mineral water terraces overlooking the valley below. The ancient city of Ephesus delivers one of the best-preserved Roman sites in the Mediterranean, anchored by the stunning 2-story facade of the Library of Celsus. And a Bosphorus cruise lets visitors see Istanbul's skyline from the water, passing between 2 continents while palaces, fortresses, and waterfront mansions slide by on both shores. The underground cities of Cappadocia, carved multiple stories deep to shelter entire communities centuries ago, offer one of the region's most surprising and least crowded attractions. And the Basilica Cistern, an underground Byzantine water reservoir beneath Istanbul's streets, offers a moody, atmospheric detour lined with ancient columns just steps from the Hagia Sophia. The Spice Bazaar near the Golden Horn fills the air with cinnamon, saffron, and dried fruit, a smaller and more manageable alternative to the sprawling Grand Bazaar nearby. And Dolmabahce Palace, the last home of the Ottoman sultans, dazzles with crystal chandeliers and gold leaf interiors right along the Bosphorus waterfront. A quick word on culture and etiquette. Turkish breakfast is a genuine event. A spread of cheeses, olives, tomatoes, honey, and fresh bread meant to be lingered over rather than rushed. Tea, served constantly in small tulip-shaped glasses, is central to Turkish hospitality. Declining a glass when offered is considered mildly impolite in most social settings. Removing your shoes before entering someone's home is standard practice, and the same applies when entering mosques, where modest dress covering shoulders and knees is required for all visitors. Bargaining is expected in bazaars and markets, but not in restaurants, shops with fixed prices, or supermarkets. Know the difference before you start negotiating. Greet people with a simple merhaba before asking for anything. It is considered basic courtesy in Turkey and genuinely changes how you are treated by shopkeepers and waitstaff. Turkish hospitality runs deep. Being invited for tea or a meal by a stranger is common and generally sincere, though it is fine to politely decline if you would rather not. Public displays of affection are more reserved than in much of Western Europe, especially outside major cities, worth keeping in mind in more conservative or rural areas. And when visiting mosques outside prayer times, non-Muslim visitors are generally welcome, but always check posted visiting hours and dress modestly out of respect. Turkish coffee, thick and unfiltered, is traditionally served with a small glass of water and sometimes Turkish delight on the side. Sip slowly since the grounds settle at the bottom. And keep in mind that meal times run a bit later than in the US, with dinner often starting around 8, especially in cities and among younger crowds. Baklava, künefe, and Turkish delight are dessert staples worth seeking out from a dedicated sweet shop rather than a generic restaurant where quality and freshness vary widely. Friday is a significant day for prayer at mosques. Expect larger crowds and some businesses adjusting hours around midday prayer time in more traditional neighborhoods. Finally, the mistakes first-timers keep making. Number 1 is trying to see Istanbul, Cappadocia, and the coast in a single week. Turkey rewards fewer stops explored properly over a rushed checklist. Number 2 is booking a Cappadocia balloon flight without a flexible schedule. Weather cancellations are common and last minute. So build in a buffer day if that experience matters to you. Number 3 is accepting the first taxi offer without confirming the meter is running. Insist on it every time or agree on a fixed price before the ride begins. Number 4 is wandering into a carpet shop out of curiosity. The sales pitch that follows is famously long and persistent. Only enter if you are genuinely interested in buying. And number 5 is skipping travel insurance and e-visa approval until the week before departure. Both are simple to arrange but genuinely need lead time to avoid a stressful scramble. Number 6 is drinking tap water without a second thought. Stick to bottled or filtered water throughout the trip, including for brushing teeth in smaller towns. Number 7 is assuming all of Turkey feels like Istanbul. The food, pace, and culture shift noticeably between the cosmopolitan West and the more traditional East. And number 8 is exchanging currency at the airport out of convenience. Airport exchange rates and fees are consistently worse than an ATM in the city or a no foreign transaction fee card. Number 9 is underestimating distances. Turkey is a large country, and a Cappadocia to coast day trip that looks short on a map can eat an entire travel day. And number 10 is forgetting that many museums and palaces close on Mondays or Tuesdays depending on the site. Always check specific closure days before building them into a tight itinerary. Number 11 is overpacking for a country with such varied climate. Layers pack lighter and adapt better than a suitcase full of single-purpose clothing for one type of weather. And number 12 is assuming English will get you everywhere outside tourist zones. A handful of Turkish greetings and phrases go a long way and are consistently appreciated by locals. So who is Turkey actually best for? If you love history, dramatic landscapes, and food that genuinely surprises you, few countries deliver that combination as affordably as Turkey does. Couples and honeymooners are drawn to Cappadocia's cave hotels and sunrise balloon flights, while beach lovers gravitate toward Bodrum, Fethi, and the turquoise coast. Families with older kids do well here too. Ancient ruins, underground cities, and hands-on history make for an educational trip that rarely feels like a lecture. Budget-conscious travelers can genuinely stretch a trip further here than almost anywhere else on this channel, thanks to the exchange rate and generally lower cost of daily life. History and archaeology lovers gravitate toward Ephesus, Pamukkale, and the ancient sites scattered across the Aegean coast, where ruins rival anything in Italy or Greece. And if you are chasing a bucket list photo, Cappadocia's hot air balloons and Pamukkale's white terraces deliver two of the most recognizable travel images anywhere on Earth. Solo travelers find an easy rhythm here too. Tea culture and genuine hospitality make it simple to strike up conversations without ever needing to coordinate around anyone else's schedule. And repeat visitors keep coming back precisely because one trip barely scratches the surface. Between the regions, the ruins, and the sheer geographic range, Turkey rewards return visits like few other destinations. Digital nomads and remote workers are increasingly drawn to Istanbul's cafe culture and lower cost of living, with a growing community of long-stay visitors setting up shop for months at a time. Whoever you are, Turkey rarely disappoints. Its combination of history, hospitality, landscape, and value is genuinely difficult to match anywhere else in the world. That is everything you need to know before visiting Turkey in 2026. From visa requirements to knowing what to skip. Which region are you most excited to see? Istanbul, Cappadocia, or the turquoise coast? Tell us in the comments below. If this guide helped you plan your trip, please like and subscribe for more honest, in-depth travel guides from our small channel. Teşekkürler for watching, and aloha from Kahana Designs. Until next time, safe travels and sweet dreams.